When I first got started online, this is what I see, and when I do my when I do my 7 steps to 6 figures program, and I flesh this whole thing out, I'm going to be interviewing some of the top leaders in the industry. People who are brand new, who have just sort of made it or made a name for themselves, and one of which just did a probably close to $500,000 launch, made $500,000 in 7 days, and virtually 2 years ago, he wasn't even in the industry yet. But he followed a process that I have outlined, and I'm just going to actually pull up my 7 steps to 6 figures notes. It was funny because this was an idea I had one morning, and I started jotting down some notes, and I jotted down some notes while I was driving to work. Actually, got to work, and I spent a few hours outlining this process, and it literally is 7 steps. It's exactly how I went from broke to a 31,000 person downline in my primary opportunity, 6 figures plus. And actually I went to well beyond 6. I was making, we did about $1.5 million in product sales and revenue online. And I did it with essentially these same 7 steps. And I think it's the same process that everybody who really has made it online follows. And step number 1 is simply the apprentice process. That's what I would call the apprentice process. It's increasing your knowledge. You want to find a mentor with a proven system and plug into that system. Increase your knowledge. New knowledge is something that you can leverage. Master one thing. This is key. You don't go try and do everything that every guru says. That's called overwhelm. That's called biting off more that you can chew. I can't find the word that I'm looking for, but you don't want to get overwhelmed. You don't want to try and do everything. You want to find someone who knows how to do one thing that you can master. Now, for me, when I started, that one thing was Google AdWords. So I sort of had to step up on this position right here because I worked for an internet marketing company. I worked for a pay-per-click marketing company before Google was even a pay-per-click marketing company. Google was just getting started. They were just starting to gain some traction, and I worked for a company. I ran a department for them, a multi-million-dollar business department for them. And I knew how to do pay-per-click marketing. I understood pay-per-click marketing. So when I launched my first system, the Score at Will in network marketing system, for those of you who have been with me for the last 5, 6, 7 years, I launched that system, and the whole system was exactly what I'm telling you to do here. I knew something. I had become skilled at mastering one thing. And I was able to take the knowledge that I learned in there, and I found a mentor online that was specific to what I was trying to do, and that was grow my network marketing business online. That mentor happened to be Mike Dillard. It was back actually when his magnetic sponsoring system was only available to people in his downline. So you could use it, you could buy his book, but the only way you could use his system is if you joined his downline. And then he switched to opening it up to everyone. And for me, I was in I had a competing company. It was a juice deal, just like everybody else was doing back then. He was in Zango. I was in another deal. And I didn't want to join his thing. So what I did was I did exactly what he told me to do in that book. I increased my knowledge. I set myself up as a leader. I got some website set up that I would show you, but all of the old files are on my old computer. But I got this really crappy website from a friend that was not designed well for the type of industry that we're in and the direct response stuff. There were links and banner ads for like shoes and different things like that on the page that just killed my conversions. But what I was still able to do was take that rinky-dinky crappy website and go and do the one thing that I had mastered that I knew how to do, and that was pay-per-click. And my product that I offered was, hey, I know pay-per-click, and I'll not only teach you how to do it, but I'll do it for you. So the one thing that I would suggest that you master right now, because back then Google was a cash cow, you set up ads, you make money, you set up ads, you make money, and you just set that thing up and it spends $20 a day and you make more than $20 a day back on your money. Your marketing budget continues to increase. Well, there's a opportunity right now with Facebook pay-per-click to do the exact same thing. With Facebook pay-per-click, it is wide open as far as your ability to market and create direct response campaigns that you put in 20 bucks. Ideally, you'll be able to generate some leads and make your 20 bucks back if it's set up properly. And I know people who have built empires in the last year alone from nobody, quote unquote, to $80,000 a month plus in revenue, $20,000, $30,000 a day in revenue, leveraging pay-per-click on Facebook primarily. And they do a lot of other stuff too, but generally speaking, that would be, if it was me and I was starting out, I would master pay-per-click marketing. And once you have mastered this, generally what you want to do, which is, again, comes back to this right here, is you find this mentor and you position yourself as generating leads in their system. So you don't even need to have your own website yet. You leverage their system, you leverage it as an affiliate so you can recoup your advertising cost. You do exactly what they say, you master that one skill, and then once you've mastered that one skill, you put up your own pages. Step number 2 is to generate your own leads. So inside of the 5-Minute Mogul system, yes, you will be able to generate your own leads, and you'll be able to see those leads in your affiliate center. The link's at the top of this page. And you'll see here, wow, this page is all messed up, that you can see your leads that you generated here, and you can download those leads. But what are you going to do with those leads? If you don't have an autoresponder or an email system to manage those leads and to be able to broadcast to those leads, they're almost worthless to you. So you need to move on to step 2 and generate your own leads that you control into your own autoresponder that become an instant cash machine. That's something that you can leverage at any time. Send out emails, you make money. Maybe you make 20 bucks, maybe you make $1,000. It depends on how big your list is and how you treat your list and how much value you're sending to your list on a regular basis. But if you have a list, the money is in the list. So you create your own capture pages telling you the story of your mentor at first, so that you're not trying to say that you're a mentor or a guru before you've actually mastered anything. So as you're going through this process to master this, you're leveraging the story. What I did with my first system was I said, hey, Mike Dillard taught me this. And I've also learned this one thing really well. So I mastered one thing. And so my transition to my own capture pages was, Mike Dillard taught me this. It's pretty cool. I'm going to tell you all about it. And I've got and then that was my capture page. And then my sales page was step number 3, becoming the mentor, right? So you're taking your capture pages. Inside of our system, you're going to be able to generate your 22 income streams on autopilot, etc. inside the 5-Minute Mogul. And then you start to brand yourself and transition that story where you're inserting yourself into the discussion now. Up here, it's all about your mentor. If you're using other systems like my system or Lead System Pro or Magnetic Sponsoring or working and sending traffic to any other affiliate program that's not your own, who are you branding? Me. It's my face on every one of these videos. I'm the quote-unquote guru or leader that's being branded in this entire system. So if you want to start to build a 6-figure or 7-figure empire, you need to follow step number 3, and that is become the mentor and begin to brand yourself. Okay? You can still continue to sell your mentor's products as an affiliate, and one of the main reasons you're going to want to do that will show up in step number 5, but you want to start creating your own leads. You want to insert yourself into the capture pages, insert yourself into the discussion, showing people this one thing that you've mastered and how you can teach that for them. And I say here that preferably it's a paid strategy because you increase your leverage with the ability to spend that money over and over. And your leverage dramatically increases when you get to step number 4, which is creating your own product. So in this process, you're learning something from a mentor. Here, you're putting up your own capture pages and you're generating your own leads and you're inserting yourself into that lead discussion so that it's, hey, I learned this from Kimball Roundy or X guru, right? Whatever that guru is, I've learned this from them and I can help you through the process because it's something that I've started to internalize and master. And then when you get here, you're starting to, instead of co-branding, you are really becoming the guru yourself. Now it's about what you know, not necessarily what I know or what Mike Dillard knows or what somebody else knows, but it's what you know. You've internalized it. You've brought it into your own. You've changed it. You've added your own value to it. And you then, at that point, create your own product with this mastered skill. Okay? And if that mastered skill happens to be something like paid marketing, paid traffic, then you can take that skill and teach people how to get paid traffic. Maybe those people are in your 5-Minute Mogul team. Maybe they're in here and they're trying to figure out this paid traffic stuff, and you can be someone that will come in and help them with that process because you've figured out how to make money with the 5-Minute Mogul system and paid traffic. That could be your first product. And the reason that you want to move to and create your own product is because this is the first level where your leverage becomes a multiplier, where your leverage grows exponentially. Remember that same $100 that we talked about a little bit ago, where you can spend $20 or $100 on Facebook ads? Well, if I'm just going to pull this up so I can show you a little bit of math here. Where's Excel? There we go. Hopefully you'll be able to see this when I pull this up, but you'll start to see the power of not only paid marketing, but paid marketing your own product now instead of mine. Okay? So if you have $100 that you can spend on Google or on Facebook or some other paid traffic, maybe it's solo ads, maybe it's Facebook, media buys, one of the things that we teach down here in the 5-Minute Mogul system, once you have mastered that, let's say you spend $100, you generate 100 leads if it's working perfectly for you, and you are able to get $100 back. And that $100 primarily will come from the first 2 income streams. The way that the system's designed to work, which is why when you're going through the initial setup process, the first 2 things we talk about are the 5-Minute Monopoly system and the GVO system. The reason is that with GVO, let's say that you sell 5 people or a few people on the dollar trial for the 5-Minute Monopoly Traffic Tycoon system. Your commission on that's going to be 40%. So let's say 5 people times, I don't know what 40% is of $37, but let's say it's about $15 a month. That's going to equal 5 times 15, a $75 a month income, quote unquote, but I wouldn't even think of it as income. I would think of it as an increase in your marketing budget every single month. So every month you have $75 from that. If you get those same 5 people to join GVO, right? That's going to boost you a $100 budget if you can do that inside of 1 week, because they have a $100 bonus. Plus, if you get just 5 people in that month, so that could be a $100 upfront bonus. If you get 5 people inside that month, you're going to end up with a 50% return on that. So that becomes $25 upfront, and then $2.50 a month per month after that. So that right there could be, depending on how quickly you do it, if it's with a solo ad or Facebook marketing or something, and you can do this within 1 week, you got a $75 a month income, you got $100 back, right? $100 back on your money simply by leveraging the bonus structure inside of GVO. And then you've got about $100. So you may do $100 to $200 return on that, but let's just say it's $100. Well, what happens with the 5-Minute Mogul and with GVO is that $100 is going to come back to you in, let's say, 45 days, depending on when it is earned and when the pay cycle happens, whether it's on the 15th or the end of the month or whatever it is, about 45 days later. So in general, you'll be able to spend this $100 maybe once inside of a 30-day period of time. Now, if you're able to do that, then every month you get 100. Maybe you do well and you get a couple $100, so your marketing budget increases a little bit. But now let's see what happens if you are able to sell your own product. If you're selling your own product through your own merchant account, you start with the same $100. And when I said a minute ago, selling your own product is the first place, again, in step number 4, it becomes the first place where you really get a multiplier on your leverage. That $100, if you're able to recoup the same $100 selling your own product, so you get 100 leads of your own into your own autoresponder, you get $100 back. Well, this $100 generally will return to you in 3 days. Depending on your merchant account, a couple of business days, you've got that money back into your account, ready to spend again. Okay? If that $100 is come back to you in 3 days, you get to spend another $100 on marketing in 3 days. Okay? You generate another 100 leads, another $100. You take that same $100 3 days later, so that's 6 days essentially. So on the 6th day, you got another $100 to spend, another 100 leads, and another $100 back. This becomes 9 days, $100, $100, and 100 leads and $100 back. 12, right? And you see how 12 and then 15 and then 18 and 21, 24, 27, 30 days. Inside of 1 month, what happens? You're able to spend $100, $100, $100, $100 every 3 days. You generate 100 leads each time you do it. And again, these are just average numbers. I can't guarantee any of this. It depends on your product, depends on your marketing copy and how well it converts and what it converts to. But when you get to the point where you've done this properly, inside of 30 days, what just happened? You took that same $100 that you were able to spend to get 100 leads and $100 back. That $100 comes back in 30 to 45 days. So at most, you got $100 to spend in a month. So you got 100 leads and $100 in that one. You take the same $100 with your own product, and guess what? You've been able to leverage that $100 more than 10 full times. You just turned that $100 into an $1,100 marketing budget in a month without putting another penny into it. And then how many leads did you get? 1,100 leads. So you just built a 1,000-person lead list asset cash machine that you can then leverage and continue to market to. And of course, you were able to recoup your advertising costs, which is where this $1,100 ended up coming from. So you just multiplied your $100 budget by 11 simply by moving on, okay, to the step number 4 of creating your own product, which again could be something as simple as, hey, I really cracked the code on Facebook PPC, or I cracked the code on solo ads, or I cracked the code in how to make money inside of your 5-Minute Mogul system. The people who made the most money in my previous Spiderweb marketing system were the people who figured something out and went out there and posted ads and sold stuff that was, I did this inside a Spiderweb and I can show you how, because there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people coming into this system who are going to get lost. They may not follow the videos very well. They may not want to get in and do any of this. They may be scared of paying for traffic or anything like that. And they're going to go on Google and they're going to search for help with 5 Minute Mogul or help with whatever. And if you have a product that you can sell them for cheap, 27, 37 bucks or something, maybe a team website, something that you can take this and multiply it even more by, instead of just having your own product, you have a membership site. If you have a membership site and you're charging them every single month, then this is an $1,100 per month. So yeah, in month one, you leveraged your $100 to the point of where you had 11 times that you could leverage it, and you still have $100 at this point to start out month number one again, or day number one the following month. But here, if it's a membership site, then day number one, right, ends up being not just $100, but you have all of the sales that came through in this first day are rebilling. And even with something like an 80% attrition, this $100 that just came back in day number one is going to average out to be $80 of residual. Plus the $100 that you spent again that you had down here, you just have $180 in marketing budget the next day. And then the next day you got another 80 in residual. The next day you got another 80 in residual. The next day you got another 80, and that's again counting attrition, people who fall out in that first 30 days. So your marketing budget continues to multiply even further and leverage even further if you have a membership site. So you can see how moving from capturing your own lead, building your own asset, becoming the mentor, inserting yourself into the conversation, creating a product, something as simple as I've made money with the 5 Minute Mogul system with paid traffic or with video or with something, and I can show you how. And then making that not just a product or a membership site can literally take you to the point where now you're able to, let's say that you take this same $100 and you, like I said before, you scrape another $100 out of your marketing budget. Again, not just taking this $100 when you get it in there and going and spending it on dinner and a movie, but rather investing in your business. So now you got $200. You generate 200 leads, and you get $200 back. You do 200 leads, $200 back, 200 leads, $200 back, 200 leads, $200 back, and you're able to leverage that money again 10 full times, 11 full times inside of 30 days. And month number two, just with your own product, you're using that same marketing budget that you had, and you're using it 20 or 11 times. So you're doing what, $2,200, 2,200 leads. Now your lead list is 3,600. In 2 months, you built a lead list of 3,600 people. You know what you can do with a fresh lead list of 3,600 people? That is an asset that will pay you, if you treat it well, for the rest of your life. Again, transition that same thing over to a membership site, and your budget just continues to leverage. Your leverage increases. So you can see how you build an asset in step number 2. So you learn something, you start to generate your own leads, build your own asset, you start to insert yourself into the discussion, becoming a mentor, you transition to creating your own product, then you move it to creating your own membership site, teaching the mastered skill, doing monthly webinars, doing what you could call office hours, where you let your people come get on a webinar once a week, and you'll help them with question and answer, walking through, showing exactly what to do. That could be as simple as what your membership site would be. Again, teaching that one thing that you learned. You don't need to know everything about making money online to create your first product. It can be very simple. And then you transition your marketing dollars from, instead of promoting my stuff directly, or in addition to, if you got a cash cow that you've set up and you're making a profitable business promoting the 5 Minute Mogul, do this other stuff in addition to it. Create your own product in addition to the stuff that you're doing inside the 5 Minute Mogul and generating the 22 streams of income. But get to the point where it's your own product. Okay? Then get to the point where you're able now to get affiliates and JV partners. The reason why in step number 1 you want to market my stuff, you want to market the guru who you're teaching, and you want to start to build an income and build a team here, is because anytime I see somebody who starts to generate tons of leads and starts to build a list and starts to build a team, I want to know how they're doing it. I want to know what skill they've mastered. I want to know what it is that they're doing, and you get my attention. And by default, you then get the attention of my 550,000 person email list. Because I'm going to want to say, not to mention that, but everybody who comes into the 5-Minute Mogul system, because I'm going to want to tell people, hey, John is crushing it in the 5-Minute Mogul system. He is doing an amazing job, and he's done it by mastering just one thing. And I'm going to have him on a webinar, and he's going to teach you that one thing. That's how you get affiliates and big joint venture partners. Creating what I would call IOUs, right? You got these IOUs because you've been marketing for me. You've been, once you have your own lead list up here, you start to, where do I say that? Participating in, somewhere I talk about how you participate in launches, quote unquote. There we go. Become a participating in affiliate launches. So there's always these launches of products and trainings and things going on, and you start to hit leaderboards in that, you start to build a name for yourself. People like Ray Higdon, people like Michelle Pesco-Salido, who mastered Facebook pay-per-click. She is now the Facebook pay-per-click queen. She is somebody who is in a couple of different places on this game board because she mastered that one skill. And she did it first inside of Lead System Pro. She did it inside of GRN. And people like Mark Hoverson and the Lead System Pro guys put her on webinars because she made them a bunch of money, got on their radar, and they're doing exactly what I'm talking about here. So the way that you move to step number 5 to get affiliates and joint venture partners is you create value for other people. You sell other affiliate stuff for other gurus and other leaders to get on their radar. Then you become the mentor and you start selling your own product. That gives you 2 groups of people that you can now approach and say, hey, I've got this new product. It's selling really well. I've worked it out. It's a killer product. My members love it. Will you be my affiliate? So you transition to step number 5 to become an affiliate, right? And then on that, you go out, or rather to create affiliates, and you first ask the people who have bought your product, hey, if you like it, and you're following what I teach, and you're generating your own leads, right? Essentially, you're teaching them, and they become step number 1, learning from you, selling your stuff. That increases your leverage even more because now, instead of you being the one doing, or only you being the one doing this, you have them going out and spending their $100. So take these 200 people, the 200 leads that you have, and let's say you get a 10% conversion rate. You got 20 people now who have bought your product that can be an affiliate, and you get each one of them to spend $100. You got a $2,000 marketing budget of other people's money going into your business every single month, bringing in more leads that you get control of, more money. Besides paying out their affiliate commissions of 40% or 50% or whatever you're going to pay, you're using their money to build your business or your membership site and your residual income. That's the leverage that comes in once you hit step number 5 to become or build an affiliate program and get JV partners. You're not only using other people, the people who you are teaching that one thing that you mastered, and you're teaching them how to sell your stuff and build their own list and participate in quote unquote affiliate launches, which you're the one doing once you get to step number 7, right? They're now your affiliates and you're on my radar. You're participating in my affiliate launches. You're selling a bunch of stuff for me. Guess what? like I said, you got the attention now of my current 550,000 list, plus the 8,000 people who have already come into the 5-minute mogul system, and the one that it'll continue to grow to hundreds of thousands of people who come into the 5-minute mogul system. That's a whole lot of leverage that you're going to be able to sell when you move to step number 5, where you take your own product and let other people sell it for you. Other people leveraging other people's money and other people's lists, like I say here. Right? Again, first affiliates you should get, the leads that you're generating, and the team that's duplicating under you, the people you're selling stuff to. One of the things I say here is make it a done for you thing. What that means is do advertising co-ops. If you've really mastered Facebook pay-per-click marketing, set up a campaign for your team and the apprentices that you're doing and say, hey, I've got it. Not only am I going to teach it to you, but while I'm going to teach it to you, I'm going to manage your marketing for you. So you get them to hand you $100. You get to put it into a funnel that you know is converting, and then you take the human element out of it, because a lot of people won't do it. A lot of people won't. Whoa, what just happened there? Oh, a lot of people won't go out and follow your stuff, but they might give you $100 or $50 or whatever for you to be able to spend on their behalf because they're an affiliate and you're going to generate some leads for them. Right? Maybe that's your product. Hey, pay me that every single month and we'll have a membership site. You get to be on my co-op team. What do you think the 5-minute traffic tycoon program is that I've created? That's my product right now. That's my front-end product, is done for you stuff, right? So that could be your product once you've mastered that one skill. Okay? So you get affiliates and JV partners. You're leveraging their money and their list. Like I say here, it takes the chance out that they won't implement what you're teaching if you make it a done-for-you product. So you learn pay-per-click marketing. You say, I'll do your marketing for you while I teach you how to do it. You say, hey, instead of the risk of you needing to go out and pay $2,000 for this solo ad or put money on Facebook and not be sure that it's going to convert, I've already figured it out. It's already converting for me, and I'll do it for you. For you only risk $50. You get someone, 100 people, to risk $50, you got a $5,000 marketing budget, and none of it came out of your pocket. And it's all marketing your business and selling your stuff and increasing your overall marketing budget month over month. You see how this can continue to compound? Do you know what it takes to make an 8-figure per year, or to build a 6-figure per year business? What is it, like $8,500 a month times that times 12 months? Yeah, $102,000 a year business. You know how quickly and easily you can do that by getting to the point where you have your own product, even just leveraging your own money and having a membership site. You could personally do this without affiliates. Then once you get into having affiliates, you could take this and times it by 2, 3, 4, 5, because now you have affiliates and joint venture partners out there doing marketing for you. Maybe you're doing a done for you stuff. You could literally 5 times your marketing budget. Well, what does that do? That 5 times is your ability to make that kind of income. That's a $500,000 a year business just by getting to step number 5. And again, I can't guarantee that any of this will happen to you. Most people won't do what I'm telling them to do here, and you'll never make any money. But if you do it, if you follow this 5-minute mogul process, this is getting you right here, setting up your own products and your own affiliates. This is where I would call you a tycoon. You're not quite a mogul yet, because a mogul steps up to step number 6 by creating your own system, quote unquote. The difference between having your own product and getting affiliates is that those affiliates, it's more like a one-time thing, or maybe they go in there because they know they can make a bunch of money. They set up some Facebook ads or whatever, and you. So for me, for example, I'm not going to send an email every day to my list for you. I might do it once or twice. We might do a webinar, but that's sort of boom, you make a bunch of money over the course of a week. If you create a full-blown system like Lead System Pro, like the 5-Minute Mogul system, like my Score at Will in network marketing or Spiderweb system, then you have people coming in to generate their own leads. They're using your system for their own business to generate their own leads, and that is something that people will work at and focus on every single day instead of just doing one-off marketing promotions for you. That's what I mean by a system. That's when you become a mogul, because then not only do you have people who will give you some marketing budget, but you have people who will give you marketing budget every single month because you're helping them generate leads for their own business in their own system. And let's just say that that just doubles what you're able to do in your business. What does that mean? This times 2. You have $1 million per year business if you get to and master this and get a system. Again, the people who are going to join your system are the people who leads you've been generating on your own. At this point, once you get to the point where you have a full-blown system, you may have 10, 20, 30,000 leads in your system or in your program. Let's say you even get a 1% conversion rate on the 30,000 leads you have. You got 300 people in there in your system giving you money every single month or marketing for you every single month, every single day, because it's helping them in their own business. It's helping take them through this process. You see how the leverage increases in every one of these steps to get you to a point where you literally can have a 7-figure business. Okay? And then the final step where you can take and turn this potential $6, maybe $500,000, maybe $1 million business. And let's say you fail 99% to get to this point, you're still doing a $10,000 a month business or a year business. That's an extra few $100s a month. Okay? You get to step 7, that's R&R. Doesn't mean rest and relaxation. It doesn't mean go stay on the beach. It means treat it like a business and rinse and repeat. New products. You learn new skills. You take those skills to create new products to teach. You rebrand. I started with Score at Will. I built a name for myself. I built my first list of 7,000 people. I was able to quit my job. And then I rebranded to the, I probably made like $40,000, $50,000 my first year with Score at Will. Had a boating accident, almost died, took a year off. And then I came back and built the Prosperity Freedom Builder system, leveraging that 7,000 list that I hadn't even marketed to for a year, doing another I'll set up a Google ad for you campaign program. I made $150,000 in my first 3 months with that system. Generated another 7,000 new leads, leveraging other people's money, spending only $2,000 of my own in the beginning to test out my pages and to get things converting at a level that I knew I could then set stuff up for my people. Then I transitioned that, rebranded because of some partner issues and a partner that flew the coop on me and moved to Sweden and cut off all communications, and he was the technology guy, so I couldn't change anything in the system. So I rebranded out of necessity and made it better. Again, letting something that could have destroyed my business, learning from it, fixing the problem, building the Spiderweb marketing system. And in the Spiderweb marketing system, we did 500,000 members in 8 months. $1.5 million in sales over the course of about 18 months. And then I had a baby and decided I sort of wanted to retire for a while. And from 2009 until about last year, end of 2011, I was more or less pseudo-retired, launching little products here and there, some Twitter stuff and some other things, making a bunch of extra money, mailing my list about products and services, participating in affiliate launches, making a bunch of money for basically doing nothing because I had an asset, a list that I could leverage. And now I've rebranded again, R&R, rinse and repeat, to the 5-Minute Mogul system. Already have 8,000 people in the 5-Minute Mogul system, really in the first few months of quote-unquote launching. And I haven't even launched it to the point where people can really get out there and market it until this past week. That's step number 7, rinse and repeat. That right there, my friends, is how you, just like I promised on the webinar title, how you build a 6-figure empire or more. I left the or more out because it just seems outrageous to believe that you could actually do that. But you can see how I've structured the game board follows this 7 steps to a T. The same 7 steps that I would say pretty much every guru followed. You need to become an apprentice of someone, a mentor who can teach you a proven system, master at least one thing, preferably I would say just one thing so that you don't get overwhelmed. Begin to generate your own leads. Insert yourself into the conversation as the guru who knows how to do this one thing, who knows how to generate your own leads, who knows how to make affiliate sales. Create your own product, sell your own thing, become an affiliate or set up an affiliate program, get your own joint venture partners, expand it to a full-blown system, rinse and repeat. Now with the free 5-Minute Mogul system, you can get to right here. And maybe here with a bunch of extra work. But you can get in and learn from any one of the gurus that we have in the system. We're teaching everything from free traffic, social media, SEO, video marketing, all the way to Facebook pay-per-click and other PPC and solo ads and other stuff. You can get into the free system and learn all of this stuff. And you can do it, quote unquote, without spending any money. But I'm telling you, the leverage that comes from mastering paid traffic and risking a little bit in your business to get paid traffic is outrageous. I would say do that if nothing else. Begin to generate your own leads. We show you how to get a GVO account, your own GVO capture pages, your own GVO autoresponder to generate your own leads that you control, that you can market to anytime. And that's only $10 a month if you go join GVO. That's all stuff that you can start to do, and you can sell all of the income streams and all the stuff inside the 5-Minute Mogul system simply by going through these first 6 steps and then picking whatever it is that you want to do to market. Hopefully getting some paid marketing, setting up some cash machines, or participating in our 5-Minute Traffic Tycoon, testing it out for $1, for a single dollar. You can set up a 5-Minute Traffic Tycoon system where I will do your marketing for you. I will do blogging for you. My team of writers will write and blog for you. You'll be able to participate in our marketing co-op, so you don't have to come up with $2,000 to buy a solo ad that's going to drive 5,000 clicks to your system and 500 plus leads into your system. What you would do is you put in a $50 or $100. You let us manage it. You get leads almost guaranteed. Who knows, it might blow up in our face and nothing happens. So I can't ever guarantee anything for FTC reasons. But in the past, we've always done well at getting leads for people. The last co-op we did, average $100 spend, people got 70 or more members into the system without doing anything. That's what I call a cash machine. It's what I call building a list without doing anything.